The Sticky Boyz, a recent collaboration channel that has come up in the past year that includes 10 different Stikbot channels all working together to make something cool. Basically, each one of them makes their own individual video or a combination of videos, and they post them roughly about every week. This is honestly really cool. Group Stikbot channels aren't like a new thing. They've been doing this for quite a while, but a lot of them didn't really have this concept. Or instead of just doing like a podcast or something like that, they're actually like making stop motions and stuff, which is really cool. And also the fact that they've kept up with it, which is incredible, because usually, like, I was scared, they posted the first 2 Sticky Boyz videos, and then they stopped posting after the second one. I was like, oh, well, there goes another one. But they've really stepped up, and some of their videos have gotten an insane amount of views. But yeah, no, there's literally 10 of them, which is a completely even number, which is pretty cool. These videos are like, all fun and all, but there's actually a deeper meaning beneath all of these videos. They're not as they seem. They may be like lighthearted videos and stuff, but there's actually a much deeper meaning. And you might be wondering, where is this going? And that's a good question. Who am I focusing on? Well, I'm focusing on this fellow right here, Natbot. Now, why am I talking about Natbot? Well, I'm going to get into it, about how Natbot is the anchor being for the Sticky Boyz universe. So for like the first bit of Sticky Boyz videos, which is actually quite a lot of them, not a lot of them are really important for any of this. It's not until we got to the box, which, as the title implies, it's about a box. And what happens in this? Well, box happens, but in the video, Natbot actually dies. Then after Natbot dies, it's revealed that the box will never get opened. Which is kind of surprising, because all this stuff happened before, but then now that Natbot's died, you can't open the box? But that doesn't really matter, because Natbot somehow comes back to life and saves the day by opening the box. Now, he opened the box, but how did he come back to life? Another instance of this, he gets blown up. Natbot actually almost gets blown up. And, he actually avoids after Stickmation falls to the ground. Which is interesting. How do you know that was going to happen? And then Natbot dies, and it's said that he's okay. But how is he okay? How is this okay? After all that happened. So Natbot has died twice at this point. But then this really strange thing happens with all this stuff. And I believe that Natbot replaced himself with a clone from another dimension. Because, like, this weird maneuver he did wouldn't be possible normally. Which is very strange. Like, how was he able to do that? But then Natbot and Midway get married, which didn't really seem like in his character before. But now all of a sudden he's marrying Midway. How is this possible? But then, in the Halloween episode, the very long one, Natbot dies once again, but it's revealed that he dies saying, "The Sticky Boyz." Which, what could that mean? Why is he saying the name of the channel all of a sudden? Like, sure, that's probably the group that these Stikbot tubers are made, but why? And after he dies, he comes back once again, but he's looking very different. He's not looking like the same Natbot he was before, so is this a clone? Did he actually die this time? Or has he already died? Or is this the canon death for Natbot? Because how does he keep dying and coming back to life? Which Natbot is the real Natbot? Well, I think that the real Natbot was in the Halloween episode, and all the other Natbots were clones from another dimension. But why do I say that the mansion one's the real Natbot? Well, because after he dies, when he comes back to life, he looks different. But do we even know if that was Natbot? Well, I don't think we know. Because after that happens, we see this weird Stikbot, and what could that be? And after the Halloween episode, we get more episodes of the Sticky Boyz. That can't be right. Natbot died in this episode. Well, that's because Natbot is in a coma right now. He's not dead. He's in a coma. He's currently on the lifeline after the mansion episode, which is why the rage is able to happen, because he's in a coma right now, but he's on the lifeline. Because if Natbot dies, then the Sticky Boyz universe is at stake. That's why all these videos where Natbot died, everyone was actually secretly panicking because they knew that the universe would be destroyed if Natbot actually dies. But they had a tiny suspicion that Natbot had a bunch of clones that he was getting from other dimensions. That's why they weren't too worried. But they realized that Natbot in that mansion episode was actually the real Natbot, and after Natbot sacrifices himself to save everyone, everyone knew that the universe was doomed. But luckily, Natbot was able to kind of come back to life and is now remaining in a coma as he gets help. Now, why is Natbot doing all this if he knows that he's the anchor being? Well, it's complicated. Generally, people don't know when they're anchor being, because you might be asking, what even is the anchor being? Well, an anchor being is someone that's basically the main character of one's universe, and once that character passes away, the universe is going to start collapsing. And most characters don't even know that they're actually the anchor being until it's too late already. But you might be saying, I said the other members knew that he was an anchor being, but Natbot didn't. And that's because they're not allowed to tell him. If Natbot knew that he was the anchor being, he would gain knowledge and power that's so unbelievably crazy that it literally would crash the universe instantly. If Natbot actually passes away in his coma, the universe may only survive another year. But if Natbot figured out that he's the anchor being, he could potentially destroy it within a minute. They give Natbot his dimension thing so he can bring in new Natbots, because they know that if Natbot actually ever does die, then the universe would collapse. And that's why Natbot is the anchor being for the Sticky Boyz universe, and why everyone has to look out for him. But hey, that's just a theory. A Stikbot theory. Yeah, that was a very in-depth one. But yeah, that's what I think. That Natbot is the anchor being for Stikbot in the Sticky Boyz.